Good morning. Thought I'd show you around the vineyard. It's a rose bush that's in bloom. Some new vines. Well, not new vines, but new growth. Vines. Some mulberry tree. Antonio's over here refinishing the old wine barrel, wine cask. These are stakes that they use in the vineyard. Harden the tips of them. They cut pieces of wood in quarters like this and then burn the tips of them. And we use them for these stakes that you see. You see all the new growth on the wall. Great vineyards. Everything here is organic. This is just little pieces of grass, wheat, dried in the sun. There's Mount Etna up there. There's a big snowstorm, rainstorm yesterday. There's a lot of fresh snow. There's an apple tree blooming. The little building that you see there is what's called a deposito. It's like a little warehouse. And I think there's about 8,000 bottles of wine from this vineyard in there. This is a project that we worked on right before Christmas. We built this big wall over here on the side. Big stone wall. And this is to be a gazing platform where you can look over this part of the vineyard up to the mountain, sunset, and then down across the valley. These are seeds that are built into the ground. And then this will all be grass down here. So when you're down here, you get this majestic view of the mountain, which is covered right now with the clouds. And then all this will be grass up here. This metal structure on top of the wall is going to be covered in wood with a rail around it. This is the big stone wall that we built in the winter. Mixed all the concrete for that wall in one day. That was a ridiculous amount of work. This is what Antonio calls the antique vines. These vines are like 900 years old. Olive trees. To see it in the video is not as good as what it is in real life. And a little bit of clouds up there, but if those clouds weren't there, then you'd see exactly how big that mountain is and how much snow there is up there. This is all lava. Lava rock. From the last flow this direction was 1830. Covered this side of the mountain all the way down to the sea, which is maybe 20 miles away. olives. This is how olive tree is supposed to be pruned in the spring. Spring, or right after you harvest is really the best time to do it. October, November. The center of the tree is opened up so you get sunlight all through there. And then by October, they're just full and loaded. And then the Brody Mountain Range, that's all national park over there. There are wild horses that live in that area. And there's a big mountain right beyond that mountain range. There's a huge chunk of lava and a fig tree. Beautiful fig. Has a nice crop of figs already on it. And roses. So this whole property, Antonio bought it, I think like 12 or 13 years ago. And it was for, I think, sheep. All this area where our cars are were these small little stone walls that were just places for the sheep to live, little corrals. It's pretty something. And he took all those walls down and started terracing the land off. There's some all this down through here. This is a lemon. Giuseppe is Antonio's father. Giuseppe doesn't know exactly how old he is. I think he's in his late 60s, about 5 feet tall, and he's so small and yet so incredibly strong that when he shakes your hand, it's like Popeye. You feel like he can just pick you up and throw you around. But he's wonderful, such a hard worker, such a great heart. His grandkids love him. Wife loves him. These are down here work areas. These are the great ponds where they cut them, trim them off in the early spring, and then they let them sit in these batches for 2 years to dry out. And they take them in the wood oven and make charcoal out of them. And then they use the charcoal for cooking and everything on this piece of property has 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 different uses. It's really very impressive. Such a beautiful place. My olive grove, which I bought just about a year ago, is right next door, maybe just a half a kilometer away from this vineyard. And it's not nearly as clean and beautiful as Antonio's property here, but and again, I don't get all the time that they do to work in here. This place is very special to me because in this little house, this is where I was staying when I found my piece of property. And then also I came back through the winter and was working with Antonio and his father. And in the evenings, it was cold, everything else, snow all over the mountain. In the evenings, there's nothing to do out here in the countryside, and so I finished the last edit of my book, the Book of Say, inside of this little house at night by the wood stove. And so it's a very special spot to me. And it was really nice to be able to get that published this year. All right.